enchanted garden. In a land filled with wonder, where the sun gently kissed the earth goodnight, there was a garden that only bloomed at night. This was no ordinary garden, it was an enchanted garden where every flower had a story to tell. One night, a little girl named Mia found herself lost in the garden. She was surrounded by flowers of every color, each one glowing under the moonlight. Mia was amazed but also a little scared, for she didn't know the way home. As she wandered, a soft voice called out to her. It was the voice of the lavender flower. "Why do you look so frightened, dear child?" asked Lavender. "I'm lost," Mia replied, "and I don't know how to get back home." "Do not worry," Lavender soothed. "Here in the enchanted garden, you are never truly lost. Each of us holds a story, and within our stories, you will find your way." And so, Lavender began to tell her tale. As she spoke, her fragrance filled the air, calming Mia's heart. Then, one by one, the other flowers joined in. Rose told a story of love, Daisy spoke of new beginnings, and Jasmine shared a tale of adventure. With each story, Mia felt more at ease, and soon, her fear turned into joy. She realized that the garden wasn't a place to be afraid of, it was a place of magic and stories. As the night grew older, the moon, who had been watching over Mia, saw her happiness and decided to guide her home. A gentle beam of moonlight shone down, creating a path for Mia to follow. Thanking the flowers and the moon, Mia followed the silver path out of the garden and back to her bedroom window. She climbed into bed, her heart full of the stories from the enchanted garden. The gentle giant of Dreamland. In the heart of Dreamland, where the clouds are as soft as cotton and the rivers flow with warm milk and honey, there lived a gentle giant named Gulliver. Gulliver was not like the giants in the stories you've heard, he was kind and had a heart as big as his enormous hands. Every night, as the stars began to shimmer, Gulliver would walk through Dreamland, making sure every creature was tucked in and ready for a night of sweet dreams. He would read stories to the baby owls, sing lullabies to the restless kittens, and blanket the shivering flowers with his warm breath. One evening, as Gulliver made his rounds, he heard a soft sobbing coming from a tiny mouse hole. Peering inside, he saw Millie, a little mouse who couldn't sleep because she was afraid of the dark. Gulliver knelt down and whispered, "Why are you crying, little Millie?" "I'm scared," Millie squeaked. "The dark is full of shadows and unknown things." Gulliver smiled warmly and reached into his pocket, pulling out a handful of sparkling dream dust. "This is special dust from the stars themselves. It will keep you safe and bring you the sweetest of dreams," he said as he sprinkled it around Millie's bed. As the dream dust settled, the room filled with a soft, golden light, and the shadows danced away, turning into friendly shapes. Millie's eyes grew wide with wonder, and she giggled with delight. "Thank you, Gulliver," she said, her voice full of gratitude. With a nod and a smile, Gulliver continued on his way, leaving a trail of dream dust and the sound of Millie's peaceful snores behind him. And so, every child in Dreamland slept soundly, knowing the gentle giant was watching over them, turning their fears into dreams of joy and wonder. In a quiet corner of the sky, where the stars hung like lanterns, there lived a painter named Celeste. She was known across the heavens as the Star Painter, for she had the gift of painting the stars each night. Every evening, as the twilight faded, Celeste would climb her silver ladder, carrying pots of glowing paint and brushes made from comet tails. She would carefully dip her brush into the pots and begin her work, renewing the sparkle of old stars and creating new ones. On the ground below, children would gaze up at the sky, waiting for Celeste's nightly masterpiece. They would point out the brightest stars and make wishes upon the shooting stars that Celeste had just painted. One little boy, named Leo, was fascinated by the stars. He wondered how they could shine so brightly. One night, as he lay in bed, he made a wish to meet the Star Painter. Hearing his wish on the wind, Celeste decided to grant it. She painted a special star that fell gently from the sky and landed near Leo's window. It was a star unlike any other, for it glowed with all the colors of the rainbow. Leo followed the star as it led him up into the sky, where he met Celeste. She showed him her pots of starlight and her magical brushes. Leo watched in awe as she painted, her strokes leaving trails of stardust. Before long, Leo's eyes grew heavy, and Celeste knew it was time for him to return home. She gave him a small jar of starlight to keep by his bed. "Whenever you feel scared of the dark," she said, "just open the jar, and the stars will keep you company." Leo thanked Celeste and returned to his bed, the jar of starlight in his hands. As he drifted off to sleep, he smiled, knowing that the stars above were painted with love and care. Moonlit meadow. In a serene meadow bathed in moonlight, where the grass whispered secrets to the night, there lived a family of rabbits. The youngest rabbit, Lily, had fur as white as the moon and eyes that sparkled like stars. Every night, Lily's mother would tell her stories of the meadow's magic. She spoke of the gentle breeze that carried dreams, the flowers that bloomed with wishes, and the stars that watched over them. One evening, as the moon rose high, Lily couldn't sleep. She hopped out of her burrow, curious about the night's wonders. The meadow was alive with soft glows and gentle sounds, a symphony of peace. Lily met a wise old owl who saw her restlessness. "Why aren't you asleep, little one?" the owl asked. "I want to see the meadow's magic," Lily replied. The owl nodded and flew up, beckoning Lily to follow. Together, they soared above the meadow, and the owl showed Lily the dance of the fireflies, the chorus of the crickets, and the bloom of the night flowers. With each marvel, Lily's eyes grew wider, and her heart filled with joy. The owl then whispered, "The meadow's true magic, dear Lily, is its lullaby that sings all creatures to sleep." As they returned to the ground, the owl began to hum a soothing tune. The melody wrapped around Lily like a warm embrace, and her eyelids fluttered closed. Lily dreamed of flying with the owl, dancing with the fireflies, and singing with the crickets. The meadow's lullaby carried her through the night, a gentle guardian of her dreams. When the first light of dawn touched the meadow, Lily awoke, refreshed and filled with stories of her own. She hopped back to her burrow, eager to share the magic of the moonlit meadow with her family. Stars. In a faraway land where the night sky was a blanket of velvet dotted with glittering stars, there lived a guardian who watched over the night. Her name was Celine, and she had the gentlest touch and the kindest heart. Every evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Celine would begin her nightly vigil. She would whisper to the stars, each by name, and light them up with her tender words. One small star, named Twinkle, felt too dim compared to his brothers and sisters in the sky. He saw the children down on earth, looking up and making wishes upon the brighter stars, and he wished he could be like them. Seeing Twinkle's sadness, Celine floated down from her celestial throne and spoke softly, "Dear Twinkle, every star has its own time to shine, and your time is coming soon." Twinkle didn't believe her, but Celine just smiled and continued her rounds, lighting up the sky. She left Twinkle to ponder her words, and as he did, he began to feel a warmth growing inside him. That night, as the children made their wishes, Twinkle felt a surge of joy. He realized that it wasn't about being the brightest, it was about the hope he could give to those who believed in him. With a newfound confidence, Twinkle shone with all his might. His light was different, it was warm and comforting, and it reached the hearts of the children, filling their dreams with happiness and peace. From then on, Twinkle became a beacon in the night, a star that may not have been the brightest but was the most beloved by the children who found solace in his glow. Celine watched over Twinkle with pride, knowing that every star has its place in the sky, just as every child has their own unique light within them. In the heart of a vast desert, where the sand shimmered like gold under the moonlight, there was a legend about a magical time when the desert went to sleep. As the sun set and the stars began to twinkle, the creatures of the desert prepared for their nightly ritual. The wise old camel, Zephyr, would gather the animals around a circle of cacti. "Listen closely," Zephyr would say, "for as the moon rises, the desert sings its lullaby." The wind would carry the soft hum of the dunes, the gentle rustling of the palm leaves, and the distant echo of the oasis. It was a melody that promised rest and peace. One night, a young scorpion named Sui was too excited to sleep. She scuttled across the sands, her tail swaying to the rhythm of the desert's song. Zephyr noticed little Sui and asked, "Why are you not sleeping, child?" Sui clicked her pincers and replied, "I want to see where the lullaby comes from." Zephyr smiled and decided to show her. He took Sui on a journey across the dunes, following the lullaby to its source. They met the night-blooming flowers, the whispering reeds, and the sleeping stones that all contributed to the desert's lullaby. As they traveled, Sui's eyes grew heavy, and her steps slowed. Zephyr told her, "The lullaby comes from all of us, from the heart of the desert. It is here to soothe us, to bring us together in dreams." Sui curled up in the soft sand, and as she closed her eyes, she finally understood. The desert was alive with a song of unity and rest. Every creature, from the smallest insect to the grandest camel, was part of the lullaby. And with this thought, Sui drifted off to sleep, the desert's melody a gentle whisper in her dreams. In a peaceful meadow, under the silver glow of the moon, stood a grand willow tree. Its branches swayed softly in the night breeze, whispering stories of old to anyone who would listen. One night, a group of fireflies gathered around the willow, eager to hear the tales of the ancient tree. The willow, with its leaves rustling like the hem of a fairy's gown, began to tell a story. Long ago, the willow began, when the stars were just learning to shine. There was a little firefly who couldn't find his light. He watched his friends glow with bright yellow lights, but no matter how hard he tried, he remained dark. The little fireflies listening gasped, their lights flickering with concern. The little firefly felt very sad and flew to the meadow to be alone. But the willow tree saw him and called him over. "Why are you so sad, little one?" asked the willow. The firefly looked up with teary eyes. "I can't shine like the others," he said. The willow smiled gently. "Every firefly's light is unique. Some take a little longer, but when they shine, they light up the whole sky." The little firefly didn't believe the willow and turned to leave. But the willow whispered a secret, "Close your eyes and think of what makes you happy." The little firefly closed his eyes and thought of the meadow, the stars, and the stories of the willow. As he opened his eyes, a warm glow began to emerge from within him. It wasn't yellow like the others, it was a beautiful blue, like the hue of the twilight sky. The other fireflies saw this and came to see the spectacle. They danced around the little firefly, celebrating his unique light. From that night on, the little firefly shone proudly, and the meadow was known as the place where the most beautiful lights could be found. The sleepy stars. Once upon a time, in a land where the night sky was always aglow, there lived a group of stars that loved to play hide and seek in the velvety darkness. Every night, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the stars would come out one by one, twinkling with excitement for the night's game. The youngest of them all was Little Star, who shone with a soft silver light. Little Star was never the first to be found because she had a secret hiding spot behind the moon. But tonight, Little Star wanted to try something different. She wanted to find the best hiding spot ever, one that would make her the champion of hide and seek. As the game began, Little Star zoomed past the sleeping sun and dove into the deep blue sea of the sky. She hid behind comets, danced around planets, and even tiptoed across the Milky Way. But no matter where she hid, her friends would always find her, their laughter echoing through space. Feeling a bit tired, Little Star decided to rest on a fluffy cloud. As she lay there, the cloud began to drift, carrying her across the sky. Little Star looked down and saw children getting ready for bed. She heard their parents reading bedtime stories, just like this one, and saw the children's eyelids grow heavy. Inspired by the sight, Little Star had an idea. she would become the sleepy star, the one who helps children drift off to dreamland. She sprinkled stardust on her cloud, making it glow with a warm, gentle light. From that night on, whenever children looked up at the sky before bed, they would find little Star, the sleepy star, waiting for them on her cloud. Her soft glow would fill their rooms, and her gentle twinkle would whisper, "Good night, sleep tight." Melody. In a small village surrounded by whispering woods, there lived a nightingale known for her beautiful songs. Every evening, as the sky painted itself with the colors of sunset, the nightingale would perch upon the highest branch of an old oak tree and begin her serenade. Children from the village would gather around the tree, their eyes filled with wonder, as the nightingale's melody wove a tapestry of dreams. Her song told tales of distant lands, brave heroes, and enchanted forests where every leaf could sing. One little boy, named Eli, was particularly fond of the nightingale. He would listen to her every night, letting her song guide him into the world of dreams. But one night, the nightingale did not appear. The sky grew dark, and the stars peeked out, but there was no song. Worried, Eli wandered into the woods, following the faintest trace of music until he found the nightingale with a broken wing. Gently, he cradled her in his hands and carried her home. All through the night, he cared for her, whispering words of comfort. As dawn approached, the nightingale's wing had healed, and she fluttered from Eli's hands. She perched on his windowsill and began to sing a special song just for him. It was a song of gratitude and friendship, a lullaby more beautiful than any she had sung before. Eli's heart swelled with joy as he listened to the nightingale. And as her song filled the air, not just Eli, but all the children in the village fell into a peaceful sleep, dreaming of a nightingale's love and the kindness that healed her. I hope this story brings warmth and comfort to the bedtime routine, and may it inspire dreams as sweet as the nightingale's song. The nightingale. In a lush, green forest where the trees whispered secrets to the wind, there lived a nightingale with a voice so sweet, even the moon would pause to listen. Each night, as the stars began to twinkle, the nightingale would perch upon the tallest oak tree and sing a lullaby for all the creatures of the forest. Her song was so pure and soothing that it would calm the rustling leaves and still the babbling brook. One evening, a young fawn named Phelan couldn't sleep. He was worried about his first day of exploring the forest on his own. Hearing the nightingale's song, he looked up and saw her high above, her feathers shimmering in the moonlight. "Dear nightingale," called out Phelan, "I am too anxious to sleep. Could your song help me find peace?" The nightingale fluttered down to Phelan and replied, "Of course, little one. My lullaby is for all who seek comfort in the night." She began to sing a special melody just for Phelan. It told of brave adventures and new friends, of hidden paths and the beauty of discovery. As Phelan listened, his worries melted away, replaced by dreams of the wonders that awaited him. With each note, the nightingale wove a blanket of tranquility around Phelan, and soon, his eyes closed, and he fell into a peaceful slumber. The nightingale continued to sing, her lullaby reaching every corner of the forest, ensuring that all who heard it would have sweet dreams and a restful night. May this story soothe and inspire all children listening, filling their night with harmony and their dreams with adventure. Good night, and let the nightingale's song bring serenity to your sleep. The night sky. In a land far away, where the night sky was a canvas of twinkling lights, there lived a little girl named Ilara. Ilara loved the stars more than anything. Every night, she would sit by her window and talk to them, sharing her dreams and wishes. One evening, as Ilara was about to close her eyes, she heard a soft whisper. It was the night sky speaking to her. "Ilara," it said, "you have been such a good friend to the stars. Tonight, they want to show you something special." Ilara's eyes widened with excitement as one by one, the stars began to move, creating a dazzling display of light. They formed pictures of her favorite stories, a brave knight, a wise princess, and a dragon with